We're back with a Wall Street Journal exclusive. The NSA ended a program used to spy on German Chancellor Angela Merkel and a number of other leaders after an internal Obama administration review revealed to the White House the existence of the operation. Wall Street Journal Siobhan Gorman has the details for us from Washington. Hi, Siobhan. How are you?
Good to be with you. I'm good.
Ton of questions about this. The first one really is, to me at least, why was the NSA spying on so many different world leaders?
Well, we don't have specifics on what exactly they were looking for, but generally speaking, as I've asked people about these kinds of questions, the kinds of things that you'd be seeking would be to find out, well, what is this world leader thinking about a particular topic? In the case of Germany, it might have to do with the financial crisis, or it could have to do with trade negotiations or Iran policy, or any number of things that the U.S. would find to be important for foreign intelligence interests.
Yeah. Now, as far as I can tell, this started to leak. I guess the White House was becoming aware of it, doing their own internal probe. This started to leak out through the Snowden documents. Is it really believable that President Obama didn't know that this was going on?
Well, it's believable that he didn't know what was going on until they did their internal review, simply because the National Security Agency is a gigantic agency, and it does have a lot of surveillance programs, and the way that the sort of protocol has been set up, so to speak, and this isn't specific to the Obama administration, this is just generally the way that NSA has operated with the executive, the rest of the executive branch, is that NSA will get its, its marching orders in a broad way from, the president and intelligence agencies, and then it will go forth and execute on them. And so if it decides that to meet the demands that have been placed on it for certain kinds of foreign intelligence, it needs to monitor a particular foreign leader, then it decides to go forth and do that, and may not see a reason to alert people at the White House. Now, what we were told by officials yesterday is that one of the things that they've turned up in this internal review is maybe they need to review that protocol, and the White House needs to be a lot more aware of who NSA is actually spying on.
Right. You know, Siobhan, this whole NSA story, since it really started leaking out into the press, there's been a lot of outrage over it. Obviously, citizens, other people in other countries. Does this take it up to a whole nother level that we are spying on other world leaders?
Well, it certainly makes it much more of an international issue. At the beginning, much of the focus of the discussion around the documents leaked by Mr. Snowden was really kind of the domestic surveillance question, or the degree to which NSA has its surveillance infrastructure within the United States, and how much of that catches American communications, and how is that handled. Now, the questions really have kind of moved to more of an international sphere, which aren't questions so much of legality, but more questions of policy, and particularly foreign policy, looking at, well, how do your spy practices actually align with your foreign policy priorities? Yeah.
Siobhan, to me it has to be obvious at this point that these spying capabilities were not being trained solely on suspected terrorists. Has this program really overrun its reason for existing?
Well, we're not really sure necessarily what specific program there was. It seems like there were some specific programs to target foreign leaders, but in all likelihood, they weren't necessarily terrorism related. I mean, the National Security Agency has existed for quite some time, and it certainly pre-existed the United States focus on counterterrorism. So many of the National Security Agency's surveillance programs do have a counterterrorism focus, but many of them just collect other foreign intelligence. And so the reason why you might want to collect on a foreign leader could have nothing to do with terrorism. It might have to do with counter-proliferation, nuclear programs. I mean, we care a lot about the nuclear programs of places like Iran and North Korea, and those aren't terrorism questions per se, but they are important national security questions.
All right, Siobhan, thank you very much. Good stuff.